Hello and welcome to Tuesday Newsday, your one-stop shop for the entire week's worth of VR news. This is a pretty short week for VR news, so at the end for Indie Dev Spotlight, let's take a close look at Zenith, the new VR MMORPG coming soon that has me so freaking excited I could barely contain it. Make sure to stay tuned for that for some information. To start off the news, everyone give Oculus a big round of applause. Between the Oculus Rift S and Oculus Rift CV1, Facebook's VR company now holds the majority market share in VR, at least according to these Steam charts. Oculus has been slowly growing their hardware market share, and just in 2018 had passed HTC Vive for the most widely used headset on Steam. Just this month, however, it has been shown that the Rift S now accounts for 8.4% of all VR hardware on Steam, and the original CV1 at 40.9%. This puts Oculus just shy of the 50% mark and would therefore give Oculus the title of majority market share. This is honestly a mix of really awesome news with admittedly some mixed feelings on my part, but let me explain. Oculus has been making good headsets at a super competitive price and throwing millions of dollars into software development, and it really shows. It makes sense that Oculus is doing well, and I'm extremely happy that so many people are getting into VR with an Oculus headset because I know for a fact that the majority of the time, those people are going to have a decently pleasant experience. Especially if it's their first time in VR, which first impressions are very important. I do, however, wish that there was some more competition in the price range, but that's a little difficult. I don't ever want to come across like I'm anti-Oculus because hell no, I'm not. I just want people to be in VR. I actually still really love what Oculus is doing and appreciate that we have them in the industry. I just want there to be more choices and a competitive market, even if that is solely to push VR forward. Okay, well, this is the news and not my opinion. Sorry for interjecting there, but it is something that I'm excited about for Oculus and VR, as well as just a little wary. Maybe Oculus eventually having a 90% market share is good. Maybe that's really bad. I don't know, but that's honestly up to us, Oculus, and other hardware manufacturers to compete. Okay, enough with Thrill's opinion. Back to the news. No Man's Sky Beyond is officially launching on Wednesday, August 14th, and man, I am excited about this. This update adds better multiplayer, some new features like more elaborate base building, milking animals like Luke Skywalker, and of course, VR support. I have followed this game for years now, and I'm super excited to have this coming to VR. It's really going to do a lot for us, I think. Really, whether you like the game or not, it is a massive game that is just suddenly available for use in VR, which is sweet. The really important thing though is that if it does well, I could see other game studios really looking at the VR space more, which is only good for us. I have an entire video on No Man's Sky and its interesting story that I just did, so go ahead and check that one out, but finish this video first. Also, speaking about No Man's Sky, Sean Murray talked briefly about adding Oculus Quest support. He had this to say: "There is a future there, right, for that kind of device? People tend to think of when you release a game, and it's a thing that I've always wanted to hammer home to people, when you release a game, that's it." Geez, that was a really weird quote, gotta be honest. He continued explaining that the team's work on the VR version is far from done. This might be version 2.0 for the game, but it's version 1.0 for VR, Murray said. "There's a lot that I expect people will want, and we're going to see lots of new players playing a lot in different ways." So I guess Quest support is possible, but it's highly unlikely considering his terminology. Looks like he's mostly focused on PC VR and PS VR and making sure that's good first. However, if the game is on PlayStation VR and it runs well, it's really not that much of a stretch for it to come to Quest. Of course, the Quest is not nearly as powerful as a PlayStation, but you know, just turn down those graphics. There's more to that, don't hate me. Meme break! Hospitals are now using VR headsets to reduce pain and distract mothers during childbirth and labor. So now when you or your girl is in labor, she can be hitting sick no-scopes and Pavlov, poning noobs. Honestly, I'd probably be in VR too, so at least we can experience labor together in the virtual world. And back to the news. No longer do you need mods to change the color of your Saber in Beat Saber. Official color selection will be part of the game, and that's cool. I know whenever I would come back to Beat Saber after a long while of not playing it, like a couple months, I would subconsciously get the red and blue mixed up and feel like they should be on the opposite arm, so maybe switching them could actually help my performance. Maybe not, I'm really not that great at Beat Saber. And now, Zenith, the VR MMORPG that I've already spotlighted before, has just launched their Kickstarter, and that brings us smoothly into Indie Dev Spotlight. Quick disclaimer, this is not a paid or sponsored advertisement. In fact, I have not even received a key of any type. I even donated my own money into this Kickstarter because talking to the developers and seeing this game and its potential, I thought it was so kick-ass that I wanted to be a part of it. So before I hit the premise of the game, just listen to a second of the main theme, and this is what really killed it for me, in a good way. So many of my favorite games rushing back into my head hearing this, and it's amazing. And the idea of the game? Zenith is a VR MMO inspired by our favorite animes and JRPGs, where millions of people can play, socialize, and create their own unique experience together. Fight, craft, explore, and live in the first cross-platform VR MMO. Forge alliances, friendships, and guilds and parties. Participate in epic raids, world events, or go blaze your own path. Become forever immortalized in a world that will become as important as the real one. If you don't have VR yet, you'll still be able to play Zenith on your desktop too. And that's, the general idea. So yeah, it's an amazing project. If you're interested, go ahead and check out their Discord link. It's in the description. Make sure you let them know that Thrill sent you. You could ask whatever questions you want there. Their community is really cool. They're gonna answer any questions that you have. And if you're really interested and want to have the opportunity to check out their game early, check out their Kickstarter. No obligation, of course. I'm not getting anything out of this. This is just simply a spotlight of a project that I think is really cool, and I have personally invested my money in, and I wanted to highlight it. This is the kind of game that the more players and excitement that you have around it, the better it is, because an MMO, if there aren't massive amounts of players, it's not really a massive online multiplayer. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. Well, that's the news. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to stop by next week, same time, same place. I'd love to see your beautiful comments again. Like this if you loved it, subscribe if you want more of this, and hit that freaking bell if you just can't live without it. Much love, Thrill out.